Morning, sir.
So good morning, everyone. So maybe let's just wait 3 more minutes for the others. Okay. So who's going to present for the group one? I mean, Baguio one, the Baguio one group.
Okay.
Who? Miss Atopen.
Sir, tatlo po kami.
At baka magre-present. Okay, so that's better. So tulong-tulong kayo. Okay, so ready na kayo for your presentation later on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so group one is clear. What about Baguio 2, IoT Baguio 2? So who's going to present their project? Good morning, sir.
Sir, ako po.
Okay, so just you, Miss Elika.
Sir, may kasama pa po si Darwin po.
Dalawa ni Darwin. Okay. Darwin. All right. So group 2 is now also clear. But what about the last group? This one? Who's going to present their project for the group 3 or the different places? Blessy? Hello, Blessy. Who's going to present in your group?
No, sir. Ako po. Hindi po ako naririnig, sir.
Rinig naman para medyo may nga lang. So just you, Miss
Yes.
Santiago.
Yes.
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Ikaw lang. Okay. That's okay. All right. So can we start now? Are you guys ready now to present your project? Sir Dayan. Hello, sir.
Yeah, you just proceed with your activity, then Mel. Don't mind me.
Okay, sir. All right. So I just would like to show this one to you, sir, because there will be no discussion thing on the files anymore because I gave this this entire files for them to do their final project. So what you're seeing right now, sir, is their proposal. Okay. So anyway, who's willing to present their project? So it could be group one, group two, or group three. Anyone? So who would like to go first?
Sir, kami na lang po.
All right, so that's group two. Okay. So let me just share. All right, so you can share your screen now and start presenting your project.
So, good morning, everyone. We will be presenting to you our project progress entitled An IoT-based temperature-controlled fan with an RGB LED light for our home power optimization. Let's now move on to the next slide. We have here week 1 and week 2. That's for the date would be starting March 9 or like that. So we were planning and gathering, we planned the output of the project, and we also have gathered resources for our basis. And we now move on to the week 3. So the week 3, we have talked about to my group mates, and then we gathered our materials and we bought the materials to be used. Here are some of the materials that we're going to use for the project. And so far we haven't met yet, but we'll meet probably tomorrow for our we going to start our project. And then we now move to the next slide. So here would be a schematic diagram of the temperature reader and the RGB light. We also have the other the codes for the temperature reader. That is all, sir. Thank you.
So what did you use to upload your data from temperature?
Sir?
Anong platform or saan nyo sinasend yung data?
Hello, sir. Hello. Sir, rinig ba ako, sir?
Yes, yes.
Sir, if I may answer your question, sir, we'll be using Blink mobile app siya, sir, na Blink. That's how we'll read the temperature and control the RGB light also.
I see. So, can you, like, for example, can you, what do you call this? Parang, like after getting the data, what are things that you can do with that data?
Sir, you can make a list or consensus about yung ambient temperature nyo sa house, or you can make a list for every season or month kung if you want to notice like yung temperature changes in your place or in your house or in your room lang, sir. Yun, sir.
So it can also send a data to your project to control the
Sir,
fans.
the data from the device, sir, can be sent to a cloud. The cloud, sir. If you want to if you want to gather the temperatures, if you want to monitor the temperatures in the area that you are using the temperature reader.
I see. Okay. So it would be better if you're going to use a cloud, since it's more flexible than a ready-made application, so that you can parang configure. Yeah, that's the term. You can configure it on whatever uh, execution that you want to do. For example, if the temperature is maybe low, then you can turn off the fan. If the temperature is high, let's say 40 degrees, then it will turn on the fan, something like that. So it can also send data to your project. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
far,
It's actually,
you guys haven't tried making that one or making that one break on the breadboard? Napagana
sir,
niyo?
hindi pa, sir. Hindi pa kami nag-meet, sir. Kasi yung ibang materials, sir, nasa ibang group mates, sir. So, hindi kompleto. Hindi pa mabuo.
Okay. So kulang pa.
Yes, sir.
Anyway. So I hope that you guys can finish that one until or before April 8th, since that is our last day class. Okay. All right. So very good, group 2. At least we have a progress right now. Okay. So moving on. What about group 1 or group 3? Anyone?
Na lang po, group 3.
Group 3. All right. So, okay. Let me start presenting your project now. I'm not, I think your mic is off. We're not hearing anything.
No, sir.
Yeah,
Sorry,
meron
sir.
naman. Okay, so do it
So
again.
our project is humidity and temperature detector and monitoring using Arduino through web server. So
Uh,
the
What
Internet
about
of
your
Things is,
PowerPoint?
sir.
You're not sharing your screen. We cannot see your PowerPoint.
Sorry, sir. Nakikita na po ba, sir?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
So the Internet of Things is a term used to define the process of connecting electronic devices to the Internet. So temperature measurement equipment and vehicular alert systems are example of this device. So IoT-based temperature and humidity monitoring is a form of temperature and humidity recorder that monitors a room temperature, stores the data gathered in a database, and displays the current temperature on a website through a server. Using this system, there will be a controlled environment that can help in preventing any kind of loss by immediate alarming. So the objectives of this project is to monitor humidity and temperature, create a web-based temperature and humidity monitoring system that can be accessed from anywhere and at any time over the internet, to build a device that allows the user to remotely check the room temperature from anywhere. And lastly, temperature monitoring is widely used in various processes like in automotive industries, air conditioning, power plant, and other industries that need the data to be saved and analyzed. So about the project, humidity and temperature are common parameters to measure environmental condition. In this IoT project, we are going to monitor humidity and temperature over the internet using ThinkSpeak server, where we will show the current humidity and temperature data over the internet. So ThinkSpeak collects the data from the sensors and analyze and visualize the data and acts by triggering a reaction. It is a very good tool for IoT-based projects for Arduino. By using ThinkSpeak site, we can monitor our data over the internet from anywhere. And we can also control our system over the internet using channels and web pages provided by ThinkSpeak. So the tools that will be used is first Arduino. We all know that Arduino Uno is low cost, flexible, and easy to use. Next is the HT11 sensor module. It is used for temperature and humidity. Next is Wi-Fi module, LCD, and Celsius scale thermometer and percentage scale for humidity meter. So this is the system diagram. First, the humidity and temperature sensor senses the humidity and temperature data. Secondly, Arduino Uno extracts the DHT11 sensors data and suitable number in percentage and Celsius scale and sends it to the Wi-Fi module. Thirdly, Wi-Fi module sends the data to ThinkSpeak server. And finally, ThinkSpeak analyzes the data and shows it in graph form. Optional LCD is also used to display the temperature and humidity. This is the circuit diagram, and that's all. The current status of our project is that since we already have the diagrams, we are on the assembling stage, sir.
So, do you guys already have all the components?
Um, we plan on buying it, sir, tas i-assemble na.
So, wala pa yung mga components as of now.
Yes, sir. Yung mga iba po naming kagrupo nasa baba po sila.
That's why I told
Yes,
you guys to, just let one person to do it, and then the others go just send the cash by Gcash, so that that
Yes,
person
yes.
will buy all the components. Para hindi na, kasi the hard part right now is we are in pandemic, and this group 3 is in different places. So some of you are in probably La Union, Pangasinan, and then other places. So meeting up with each other is really impossible right now. Okay, so that's possible for group 1 and 2 since they are here in Baguio, but uh, for your group, I highly recommend you guys to just probably do the codings, and then just let one person do the assembling of the components. And then hopefully you guys will be able to finish your project before April 8th. Okay. So I'm hoping for your project, since it needs a web-based server, or it needs a website in your project, or yung ThinkSpeak yung web-based na tinutukoy. Hello? Your mic is unmuted. Turn on your mic.
Yes, sir. Yung ThinkSpeak, sir.
So hindi na kayo gagawa ng website. It is already ThinkSpeak that you're
Yes.
talking as the piece. Okay, so at least you have your progress. I just really hope that you guys can finish it one before April 8th. Okay. All right, so let's now move on to the last group, to the group 1. So who's going to present?
Sir, I will share the presentation, sir.
Okay. All right, so you guys may start now.
Okay, so kita na po ba?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so good morning to all. So this is the presentation of group 1. So IoT-based temperature and heart rate monitoring. So a project overview.
So for the overview of our project, as you can see, the Arduino Uno gets the data from the sensor, and an ESP8266, which is a Wi-Fi microchip, will push the data to ThinkSpeak. So ThinkSpeak is actually an IT analytics platform. So for pushing of data, it will use 80 commands. And after that, the platform will then display the data in charts, as you can see at the upper right. So after that, if the reading surpass the set threshold, the buzzer will be triggered, and the ESP8266 will trigger ThinkSpeak and initiates the action Think HTTP to call Twilio API. So Twilio API is actually a cloud communication platform. So with this, Twilio will then send an SMS notification. So the SMS notification contains the data that triggered the actions. So up next is Miss Leonila Atopen, who will present the schematic diagram of our project.
Hello. This is our schematic diagram showing lahat po ng components that we have used, which is the LM35 or the temperature sensor, the capacitors, the resistors, the Wi-Fi module, and the Max 3010 and that's it. So we have used the LM35D as it can measure the temperature from 0 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius with 10 millivolt per degree change in temperature. This sensor basically senses temperature and produce corresponding voltage from its output pin. That is 10 millivolt per degree Celsius change in temperature. So for example, at 0 degrees Celsius, it produces a 0 millivolt, and at most 100 degrees Celsius, it produces 1,000 millivolt, that is equivalent
to 1 volt output. So there are reasons of error or deviation in temperature output. Like for example, the noise in the power supply and the self-heating and electromagnetic interference. That is why we have to use a capacitor and resistor to solve that issue. So adding filter capacitor at power of LM35, the fluctuation of temperature output might be the noise available in the power supply. That's why we added capacitor. Also adding resistance between the output pin and the the output pin, which is the pin 2 of LM35 and the ground. According to the data sheet kasi of LM35, it has a low sinking capability. As a result, its opt would become more sensitive to electromagnetic interference. So when we put that, it will solve the error or the deviation in the output. So, yun po yung gamit ng aming resistor and the capacitor. So, the Wi-Fi module, as you can you see the Wi-Fi module? The rightmost, yung pinaka-right na ano, it has integrated the IP protocol stack that can give any microcontroller access to your Wi-Fi network. It is capable of either hosting an application or offloading all Wi-Fi networking functions from another application processor. So without it, hindi po kami makaka-upload ng data. So this is it is capable of uploading or para ma-access yung Wi-Fi. So each module comes pre-programmed with an 80 command self set firmware, meaning you can simply hook this app to your Arduino device and get as much Wi-Fi ability. And also the Max 3010-2, it is a method, it uses a method called photoplethysmography to measure the heart rate. So ito po yung sensor namin which measures the heart rate of someone. This method shines light on the skin and the perfusion of the blood is measured. Siya po yung nagme-measure sa heart rate ng user. And the platform that we used is the ThingSpeak. It is an open source Internet of Things application and API to store and retrieve data from things using the HTTP protocol over the internet or via a local area network. So it is an IoT analytics platform service that allows you to aggregate or visualize and analyze live data streams in the cloud. Ito po yung server namin where the datas are being uploaded and where we can also visualize and kung saan namin pwedeng makita yung mga datang na-upload po. And that why Leo, a modern communication API used for establishing communications. Yun po yung mga nagamit namin and as you can see, wala po yung mga platform dyan kasi hindi pwedeng mailagay dyan. But yung mga capacitor, andyan po sa aming mga schematic diagram. And you can see later kung paano siya na-layout sa aming breadboard. So I'll give it to Armel.
So moving on to the next slide, we have the flowchart of our project. So as you can see, the first process symbol is connect the device to the cloud account. And next is the start detecting pulse rate and body temperature. So the data will be stored to the cloud and it will be displayed to the ThingSpeak. So moving on to the next process, the decision symbol. So if pulse rate, heart rate, and body temperature is equal to the normal rate and body temperature, so if it is equal, so it will just go back to the process symbol here, start detecting pulse rate, heart rate, and body temperature. And if it is not equal to the normal rate and body temperature, it will trigger the buzzer and send an SMS to the user. And thus, the device will now shut down. So, so that is the flow chart. So moving on is the components. So, Leonila.
So, nasabi ko na po kanina yung mga components that was used dun sa schematic diagram. Yun po yung mga nagamit na mga components. And so far, all those are available and we made it possible. Kaya na-layout na po siya sa breadboard and ito na po yung this is how it looks like.
So this. So moving on, we have a demo of our project. So here.
So, bale sir, yung progress po ng project namin, actually tapos na po siya. So, yung demo lang po yung pinapakita niya lang na gumagana na rin yung project. Yan po.
So the threshold that I think it should have an alert, such as the matter, part of the IoT system. Things.
I think I didn't see the part wherein you're going to put it. Is it the time that is being measured in temperature? Kamay ba yung ilalagay din sa temperature sensor? Hello, hello? Hello? Anyone from group 1? Can you guys hear me?
I think sir yung yung daliri yung para dun sa pulse rate.
Can you show it again? Because that is the most important part. Hindi ko yun yung inaabangan ko yung ilalagay yung kamay pero puro display na kasi sa on the demo part. That one. The red one. That is the one that you should. So it's a pulse rate checker. Or yun yung nagmamonitor ng pulse rate, tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Yung temperature, green lang. Ay, ginawa.
And then the temperature sensor, magkahiwalay sila, di ba? So it's like you have to touch two devices at the same time.
Yes, sir. Gamit ko yung index finger doon sa pulse, tapos thumb and middle finger doon sa sa temperature.
Okay. So actually, it's I would say that very good. Like 90% you are already done with your project. Actually, I can already give you a grade right now. But I need a more clearer demo, and then probably mas maliwanag siguro since medyo madilim. Pero all in all, it's very good. Just create another demo wherein showing a step-by-step, demo for temperature and then demo for heart rate. So yun na lang siguro yung kulang. So hindi lang masyadong clear yung demo sa akin.
Sir, yung sa
naka-off.
Wala pala, sir. Gawa na lang ng bago.
Kasi hindi ko masyado makita. Well, actually, kung napakita nyo lang sana and then punta nyo sa screen and then sa TeamSpeak and then you can monitor the heart rate. And then, yeah, okay na yun. And then another one for temperature, and then go to the screen. And then, okay, yung yung temperature or yung heart rate, and then okay na rin yun. And then, just also show wherein, kasi sabi nyo doon, kapag hindi normal yung temperature, so you should probably set it to 38 and above kapag temperature. And then for heart rate, hindi ko alam kung ano yung hindi normal. But for temperature, if it's 38 and above, then that person has a fever, something like that. And then after that, pakita nyo sa akin yung SMS na yun. Hindi nga normal yung temperature or heart rate ng tao yun.
Okay po, sir.
So yun lang naman yun. Para mapakita nyo lang lahat ng features ng project nyo. Okay, so very good, group 1. So just polish that one, and then since you guys will not be able to, or we will not be able to meet, and then show it to me on actual. So just give me a clear demo for your or of your project. The same with the group 2 and group 3. So that is actually the one that I will check. Okay, so the demo or a demo that your project is already working. All right, so we don't have enough time anymore. So goodbye and thank you guys for coming. So let's just meet again next meeting for the finalization of your project and then maybe final demo of your project. So thank you, and see you guys next meeting.
Sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you too and goodbye.